Imagine for a moment that every encrypted email you've ever sent, maybe every secure online purchase, all that sensitive data you've trusted online,
Hmm.
imagine it could suddenly become, well, completely readable, not just going forward, but stuff from the past.
Yeah. It's a really sobering thought.
And that's the kind of threat a future powerful quantum computer could pose. It sounds like sci-fi, but it's definitely not.
No, it's the quantum threat. And what's really interesting, I think, is how Canada's responding. They're being incredibly proactive, really detailed, trying to secure their government's digital systems using something called post-quantum cryptography, or PQC.
Exactly. And that's why today we're doing a deep dive into this key document, the roadmap for the migration to post-quantum cryptography for the Government of Canada. It's publication ITSM Jaunt 40.001 from the Cyber Center.
Bit of a mouthful, but important stuff.
It is. Our goal here is to, cut through some of the jargon, pull out the key strategies, the timelines, which are pretty firm, and just help you understand the sheer scale of what they're undertaking right now.
So the big question we're tackling is, how is Canada actually getting ready? How are they planning to protect, vital government systems and ultimately citizen data from a quantum attack down the road? What's this journey look like?
Yeah, that opening thought about past secrets, it's unsettling. So let's ground this. What exactly is this cryptographic threat of a future quantum computer the roadmap talks about? What makes it so different?
Well, right now, almost everything secure online relies on public key cryptography.
Yeah.
Think of the systems that secure your browser connection, HTTPS, or digital signatures. They keep things confidential, make sure they're authentic.
Standard stuff we rely on daily.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the problem is, these systems are based on mathematical problems that current computers find, well, practically impossible to solve in a reasonable time.
Okay.
But quantum computers, using specific algorithms like Shor's algorithm, are theoretically designed to solve those exact kinds of math problems very efficiently. So it's not just a minor threat, it could completely break the foundation of our current security.
Right. A fundamental break. And the defense against that is post-quantum cryptography, PQC.
That's the plan, yes. PQC algorithms are designed differently. They're based on mathematical problems that are believed to be hard for both classical computers and quantum computers to solve.
Okay, so a new generation of crypto.
Essentially. And it's not just Canada working on this in isolation. The U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, has been leading a huge global effort. Cryptographers from all over the world have been collaborating to develop and standardize these PQC algorithms. It's a big international push.
So if these powerful quantum computers aren't quite here yet, I mean, we hear about breakthroughs, but they're not widespread. Why the big rush? Why is this a priority now?
That's a really critical point. It's something called the Harvest Now, Decrypt Later threat, or HNDL.
Harvest now, decrypt later.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, think about it. A sophisticated adversary, maybe a nation state, could be intercepting and storing massive amounts of encrypted data today. Government communications, sensitive financial data, maybe even your personal health records.
Stuff that's perfectly secure right now with current encryption.
Right. Secure now, but they just hoard it. They collect terabytes of this encrypted data and just sit on it for, say, 5, 10, 15 years. Then, once they do get access to a powerful enough quantum computer, they can go back to that stored data and potentially decrypt all of it retroactively.
Wow. So the data we think is safe today could be exposed years down the line.
Exactly. That's the urgency. For data that needs to remain confidential for a long time, the migration isn't just important, it's arguably already a bit late if that data has been transmitted unprotected against this future threat.
That really changes the perspective. Okay, so this roadmap, who in the Canadian government does it actually apply to? Is it every single system?
It's specifically targeted at the migration of non-classified IT systems. So that covers information labeled unclassified, protected A, and protected B. That's, the vast majority of day-to-day government operations and citizen information.
Okay, the bulk of it.
Right. For the really sensitive stuff, the classified systems or protected C information, think national security there are separate, stricter protocols. Departments handling that need to consult directly with the Cyber Center. It shows there's a layered approach.
Got it. So this isn't just advice, it's got real deadlines. The roadmap mentions it's effective June 23, 2025. What's the first big milestone departments need to hit?
Yeah, the timeline is quite concrete. It shows real commitment. By April 2026, which is coming up fast, every federal department and agency needs to have developed an initial PQC migration plan. Just the first version, but it has to be there.
Okay, less than a year to get that initial plan done.
And then starting that same month, April 2026, and every year after that, they have to formally report on how their migration is progressing. So it's not just planning, it's ongoing tracking and accountability.
Right, continuous reporting. And what about the actual system changes? When do things need to be fully migrated?
The roadmap sets two key deadlines for completion. By the end of 2031, all high-priority systems need to have completed their PQC migration.
High priority. We'll probably get into what that means later.
Yeah, we will. And then, for all the remaining systems, the final deadline for completion is the end of 2035.
Okay, 2031 for high priority, 2035 for everything else covered by this roadmap. A decade-long project, essentially. But what does completion mean in this context? Does it just mean the systems can use PQC, or is it stricter?
That's a really insightful question, and I think Canada's definition is quite strong here. Completion doesn't just mean adding support for the new algorithms. It means the old quantum vulnerable algorithms are actively disabled, or the systems using them are isolated, or the traffic is tunneled through a PQC-protected layer.
Ah, so it's about actually removing the vulnerability.
Exactly. It's about mitigating the risk, not just having the capability available. That focus on active mitigation really underscores how seriously they're taking these deadlines. It's a big commitment over many years.
Okay, threat, solution, deadlines. Clear. But how does a government actually tackle something this massive and complex? The roadmap lays out 3 phases, right? Preparation, identification, and transition. Often overlapping, you said.
That's right. They flow into each other, but thinking about them in phases helps. Phase 1 is preparation. And the main goal here is pretty straightforward. Develop that initial departmental PQC migration plan we just talked about.
The one due April 2026.
Correct. But building that plan isn't just an IT task. The roadmap stresses it needs a dedicated migration lead, someone responsible for driving it. And, critically, a committee with people from all sorts of areas.
Not just the tech folks.
No, definitely not. Technical teams, yes, obviously, but also finance, procurement, project management, asset management folks, people who understand the budgets, the contracts, the hardware life cycles. And absolutely crucial, you need senior management buy-in right from the start. Without that executive support, it's unlikely to succeed.
Makes sense. It touches everything. What are the key things they need to figure out in this preparation phase?
Well, money is a big one. Financial planning. Departments really need to expect significant costs. Replacing or upgrading systems, potentially hiring new staff or contractors with PQC expertise, training, it adds up.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But, and this is clever, the roadmap emphasizes integrating this with existing plans. Tie PQC upgrades to scheduled hardware refreshes, plan system modernizations. If you plan early, you can potentially reduce the overall cost compared to a last-minute panicked rush. It avoids that rip-and-replace scenario where possible.
So smart planning can save taxpayer money. What else besides budget?
Education. A big education strategy is needed. You have to raise awareness about the quantum threat across the whole organization, not just within IT.
Get everyone on the same page.
Exactly. They mentioned using platforms like the TBS GC Exchange and the Cyber Center's Learning Hub for resources, and making sure senior executives are regularly briefed, keeping them informed and supportive is key.
And procurement seems like a huge piece of this early phase, too, making sure new stuff is PQC ready.
Absolutely critical. Any new IT system being procured needs to support PQC right from the beginning. It's much harder and more expensive to retrofit later.
Makes sense.
The Cyber Center recommends using established cybersecurity standards for independent review, avoiding getting locked into one vendor's solution. They even suggest specific clauses for contracts.
Oh, like what?
Things like requiring compliance with Cyber Center PQC recommendations, using certified cryptographic modules, and, importantly, demanding support for cryptographic agility.
Cryptographic agility, what's that?
It basically means the system should be designed so it's relatively easy to swap out cryptographic algorithms later if needed without a major overhaul. As PQC standards might evolve, you want that flexibility. Building that into procurements now is vital.
Okay, so that's preparation. Planning, budgeting, educating, fixing procurement. Then comes phase 2. Identification. Cryptographic discovery, they call it. What's the goal here?
The goal here is ambitious. Create a complete inventory of every single place cryptography is being used across all IT systems in the department.
Every single place. That sounds daunting.
It is. And when they say everywhere, they mean everywhere. It's
Yeah.
not just the obvious things like secure websites. It's network gear, operating systems, applications, software development processes.
Okay.
And all the physical hardware, too.
Yeah.
Servers, desktops, laptops, mobile phones, printers, even things like VoIP phones, hardware security modules, smart cards, USB tokens, anything that might use encryption or digital signatures.
Wow. And these could be anywhere, right? On-premise, in the cloud.
Exactly. On-premise data centers, contracted services, cloud platforms, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, even devices employees might take home. It's a huge scope.
So once they find a system using crypto, what info do they need to log for this inventory?
It's pretty detailed. They
Yeah.
need to know the specific component using crypto, the vendor, the product version, how it fits into security controls, network zones, the actual crypto configuration being used.
Okay, the technical stuff.
Right. But also things like, where is it hosted? What other systems depend on it? Are there service contracts involved? When is it scheduled for a refresh? Who's the contact person responsible for it? And really important, how should it be prioritized for the migration?
Prioritization. Given the scale, they can't do everything at once. Which systems get bumped to the front of the line?
The roadmap is clear. Systems protecting the confidentiality of data being sent over public networks are a high priority.
Because of that harvest now, decrypt later threat again.
Precisely. Data intercepted today is the most vulnerable to future decryption, so securing those communication channels first makes the most sense from a risk perspective.
Okay, how do departments actually do this discovery? Just ask people? Or are there tools?
It's a mix. They definitely recommend leveraging existing processes like IT service management, ITSM databases, change management records often. A lot of info is already there, just maybe not organized this way.
Digging into existing records.
Yes. And then using software tools.
Mm.
Existing security tools like SIEMs, network monitoring systems, EDR on endpoints can also detect cryptographic protocols. Plus, there are specialized cryptography discovery tools available. The Cyber Center also mentions their own sensors program might help.
So multiple angles.
Right. The key advice is, don't wait for perfection. Start building the inventory, even if it's incomplete at first, and improve it over time. It's iterative. And crucially, talk to your vendors. Engage IT suppliers and contractors early to find out about their PQC plans and timelines. That's essential information.
Okay, so phase 1 is planning, phase 2 is finding all the crypto. Logically, phase 3, transition, must be where the actual changes happen.
Exactly. Phase 3 is all about planning and then executing the necessary system upgrades, replacements, or maybe those tunneling or isolation workarounds, all based on that inventory created in phase 2.
And this isn't just flipping a switch, I assume.
Definitely not. It has to be tightly integrated with the department's standard IT change management processes. That means careful impact assessments, having solid rollback plans if something goes wrong.
Always need a rollback plan.
Always. Using staging environments for testing before going live, and then closely monitoring systems right after the transition to catch any issues. It's careful, managed change.
What about finding the actual PQC solutions? Are they readily available yet?
The technical teams need to research and evaluate options. The roadmap acknowledges that, especially early on, the number of PQC-ready products might be limited. It's still an emerging market in some ways, but vendors are moving quickly now that NIST standards are being finalized.
And systems often talk to each other, right? What about compatibility?
Huge consideration. Many systems will need to stay compatible with older systems that haven't been transitioned yet, at least for a while. So often it's a two-step process.
Two-step.
Yeah. First, you upgrade a system to support PQC alongside the old crypto. It can talk both languages, essentially. Then, later, once everything it talks to is also upgraded, you take the second critical step. You disable the old vulnerable algorithms completely.
Okay. Support first, then disable later. What about those really old systems, the legacy ones that just can't be easily upgraded?
Yeah, there's always some of those. For systems that can't be fully transitioned without a complete, costly replacement, the roadmap suggests alternatives. You could isolate them on the network, limit what they can talk to, or you could tunnel their traffic.
Tunneling, like a VPN.
Sort of, yeah. You'd wrap their network traffic inside a secure tunnel that is protected by PQC. So even if the old system is still using old crypto internally, the data moving across the network is protected by the new stuff. It's a way to mitigate the risk for systems you can't immediately replace.
Clever workarounds. Okay, this is clearly a monumental effort across the whole government. Who's actually in charge? Who are the main players making sure this happens?
It really is a whole of government play. You've got several key players. First, the Cyber Center, that's part of the Communication Security Establishment. They're the main technical authority on IT security for the government.
So they provide the expertise, the guidance.
Exactly. They're raising awareness, giving technical advice on PQC, making recommendations on how to implement it securely. They wrote the roadmap, after all.
Okay, who else?
Then you have the Treasury Board of Canada's Secretariat, or TBS. They're crucial for the overall policy and direction.
The policy drivers.
Right. They set the rules, provide the strategic direction for security across government. They're the ones who issue the policy directives, telling departments they must create these PQC plans and report on progress. They hold the departments accountable.
Got it. And practically, Shared Services Canada, SSC, must be huge in this.
Absolutely massive.
Yeah.
SSC runs the IT infrastructure, the networks, the data centers for a large number of government departments. So their role is fundamental to actually making the transition happen for many. They're developing their own PQC plan for the infrastructure they manage.
So they handle the backbone for many departments.
Correct. And then, of course, you have the individual federal departments and agencies. Ultimately, each one is responsible for managing its own cyber risks and for creating and carrying out its specific PQC migration plan, tailored to its own system's needs. They're the ones doing the work on the ground.
Okay, so those are the main actors. Are there specific groups or committees coordinating all this? It seems like you'd need that.
Yes, there are coordinating bodies. There's the IT Security Tripartite. It brings together TBS, SSC, and the Cyber Center. They work together to provide advice and oversee these big government-wide security initiatives like PQC migration.
A central steering group.
Kind of, yeah. Then there's the GC Enterprise Architecture Review Board, or GCEARB. Their job is to make sure new IT systems and changes fit within the government's overall technology framework, including meeting security requirements like PQC readiness. Keeps things consistent.
And you mentioned Canada has a broader quantum strategy, too.
That's right. There are GC Interdepartmental Quantum Science and Technology Coordination Committees. They oversee Canada's national quantum strategy as a whole, and this PQC roadmap is a key piece of the defensive side of that strategy, so they help sync things up.
How is progress tracked? You mentioned annual reporting.
Yeah, TBS oversees compliance. Departments report their progress annually as part of their overall plan on service and digital, which now includes cybersecurity as a central component. And the Cyber Center is there to provide ongoing support, resources, and they even list contact info if departments have specific questions. It feels quite collaborative.
So bringing this all together for you, our listener, this deep dive shows Canada isn't just talking about the quantum threat. They have a really detailed, comprehensive, multi-year plan already underway. It's about safeguarding government systems and, by extension, protecting citizen data. It feels like quite proactive governance.
Yeah, and I think the bigger takeaway here, maybe the final thought, is that this roadmap is a powerful example of something broader. It shows that cybersecurity isn't a destination you arrive at. It's a constant race, an evolving challenge between threats and defenses. Even as PQC gets rolled out, new threats will emerge. The landscape keeps shifting. So this kind of long-term strategic planning, investment, and adaptation isn't just for PQC. It's the new normal for staying secure in the digital age. It's really a marathon, not a sprint, and Canada seems prepared for the long run.